Hey everyone, welcome back. It's another day here on the farm, and today I have a few different things to share with you. So it's going to be kind of a hodgepodge video, kind of just of what we did today. And we started the day by preparing the garden. We did another garden bed, and included in that will be Steph kind of showing and talking a little bit about how she buys the seeds and how she plans the garden for the year. So we'll do that, and then we'll show you us clearing out one of the beds, which is in preparation for the seed planting. And after that, I'm going to give you a little tour of the Prowler. Even though you already had one today, I moved it from where it had been sitting over under the trees. We had set up a little area called Tent City, which really never went well. It collapsed twice due to rainwater collecting on the tarps and then kind of just collapsing in on it. So after the second collapse, which was about a month ago, I just gave up. I disassembled Tent City, and now the Prowler is right in front of the Spartan. It's right over there. So I'm going to show you that, show you kind of how that sits, and it's also in a little easier spot for me to work on. After that, for you diehard fans, and there's been a lot of people asking what happened to Amy's van. So Amy was here most of the winter, and she pretty much finished her van. There's a few finishing touches she needs to make, but it's pretty much done. And so before she left, she's traveling out west now, I took the camera in there. Actually, I think I used my cell phone, so the quality might not be as good, but I did a little walkthrough so you can see what she did. There won't be any sound because it was muted, but I'll throw some music on there or something so it's not completely boring. So you'll get that. So you get the three things today. You'll have the gardening, the Prowler, and Amy's van. So like I said, a little hodgepodge of clips. But hopefully you enjoy it. Steph and I have decided, with everything going on, that we're going to literally shelter in place. We decided today that we're not leaving, we're not going to the grocery store anymore. We're going to pretty much live off what we have here and try to live off the farm. And part of it is because, you know, we really don't want to get sick. I'm not really worried about it because we don't really seem to be in the age range of people who might get sick, and we consider ourselves pretty healthy, but why take the chance? We've been doing this for years, setting this property up so that we're self-sufficient, and if we can't handle it for a month, 2-3 months, we really have no business doing this. So we just thought it would kind of be a good experiment. So we're gonna just take the garden balls to the wall and plant every seed we have. We may start breeding chickens so that we have more. Right now I think we have around 20 to 25, somewhere in there. If I had to, 18, 19, 20, maybe 22 chickens, and they do very well with their laying, but in the winter sometimes the egg laying production slows down to where we may only get 1 or 2 eggs a day, so that would kind of suck. But right now we're getting probably like 8 to 10 eggs a day, and so with that we don't have to order dog food. We can feed the dogs eggs, and you can feed the chickens eggs too if you want. Honestly, they eat their own eggs half the time, so in an emergency you could do that. But we will still be ordering food online. Hopefully it shows up within a reasonable amount of time, so we're not completely not interacting with the outside world. We just decided that the two of us are not going in. So I did go out yesterday. So today is day 1 for me. Steph hasn't left the house. She never leaves the house anyway, so she probably hasn't left the house in like 7 or 8 days at this point. But anyways, we thought it would be fun to just kind of try it and see how it goes. So we'll keep you updated, and hopefully you can follow along and the garden grows. And you know, we really think everything's going to turn out okay, but maybe while everything's going on, you can follow along with us and kind of see how we do over here. And if anybody has any questions for Harry about the cabin, or questions for us about gardening or chickens or anything, please just write in the comments. I will respond to every single comment. If you have something you're interested in or something about the property here that you want to see, let me know, and I'll be glad to give you a little tour, or we can talk about it and share with you. So anyways, that's about enough of me talking, and I'm gonna go ahead and just let these clips roll. Hopefully they fit together well, and I hope everybody's doing all right out there, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. We will talk to you soon. is our garden. It's a large square. And I'm just gonna kind of do a quick little look around like that. And so there's all different garden beds in there made of bricks and other things. And Steph's gonna show us real quick what we've got going on.
So this is the bed that I planted my tomatoes in. I have 2 different varieties of tomatoes here. I have Homestead tomatoes and Cherokee Purple tomatoes. I bought these as small plants this year instead of planting seeds because I felt like I was a little bit too behind and wasn't able to get them started inside. So I got plants that I could get started. So over here I have my peas. These are English peas or shelling peas. This bed is really getting overrun with weeds. I think this is pennywort, these weeds, and they just take over. So it's a little frustrating.
These things.
So in this bed I planted a bunch of cucumbers. So these are a regular size cucumber, not the pickling cucumbers that I've grown before. We are gonna have to trellis these once they get a little bit bigger.
How long have these been in the ground?
I would say a couple weeks now. So this is a fig tree that I actually bought a couple of years ago, and I had it in a pot, and I kept bringing it inside in the winter, which was a huge hassle, so I decided this spring I was just gonna plant it out and hope for the best. It seems like it's been doing pretty well. It's getting all of its new leaves and everything now, so we'll see if we get any figs. So this is the trellis that we just built yesterday for some more pole beans. So in the other bed that I mentioned, I have the purple pod beans. In this one, I planted the Kentucky Wonder pole beans that I had saved seeds from. So I planted a few around the bottom here, and I'm hoping that those will come up and use this PVC pipe for a trellis. So these are Japanese eggplants. I actually bought these as small plants, and they've grown pretty significantly in the last 2 weeks, I think, since I've bought them. I did mulch around these with hay, from spent hay basically from the goats, and I think that'll help keep the moisture in. Put a lot of compost in there and also fertilize them with the organic fertilizer.
So briefly, how we have things set up, that's one of our chicken coops out there. We've got 2. That one there has about maybe 20 chickens, 18. What are we at, 18 chickens now? That's my tool shed, equipment shed that stays out in the field, or up for the tools that stay in the field. The chickens from that coop usually hang out under this big oak tree because it's pretty cool in there, so that's where they are right now. You kind of see them in there, digging, finding bugs, hanging out, hiding from predators. We've had 2 hawk attacks in the past 2 days. Yesterday, last night, about 4 or 5, I was out here doing some gardening, and a hawk must have been in this tree somewhere, because I heard a bunch of commotion and there was a hawk on the ground and he flew away, and I hadn't seen him flying, so I think he was hanging out in the tree. He's a juvenile hawk. He's like mid-sized, not very big, not very small, right in the middle. He's gonna get one sooner or later. So you come out this way. That is our hay shed for these goats. This is where we'll keep the hay so that we don't have to go all the way out to the barn. And this is where Miss Sophie lives. Sophie's taking a nap. Hi. What you doing? Sleeping? This used to be our 3rd chicken coop, and that's where that little door is on the right. If you look back in our videos, you'll see where this used to be up on stilts. And eventually we just decided to get rid of it because this coop was actually out in the woods, and we had a few different attacks, like a possum attack twice, and the rats were really eating all the food, so it's Sophie's home now. Come out here, we've got the boy goats. Rebel and Jet is back in, he's in there somewhere. And then over here we've got a little gate, and this is where we keep our compost, for the reason being that when Steph cleans out the goat shed, she'll just throw the used hay and goat poop right into the compost pile, so she doesn't have to carry it all around the farm, and it's great compost. Basically the way they're set up, Joe did this a couple years ago, it's just basically like a fence cattle wire. If you can see it, cattle wire just arranged in a circle, and then we throw our eggs and vegetables that the chickens, anything the chickens don't eat or the pig doesn't eat, we go ahead and throw in there. And then this one is in progress, so we'll probably use this through the summer, and then after the summer it'll be about half full. We will shut it down and let it cook for the winter. So this one over here has gone now for about a year, and it's pretty good. We opened it up just a few days ago, and I'm gonna fill a wheelbarrow with it right now. There's Rebel. What you doing, buddy?
Focus it on like the middle, because I'm gonna plant the seeds like in the middle now.
Oh, you in the middle of the bed?
Yeah.
I was thinking you were gonna do 2 rows.
I'm gonna do okra in here.
So there she is, all ready for planting. We got all the compost, 2 wheelbarrows full, spread out, and we'll get that planted tomorrow. Got the bricks all lined up nicely. Now, I'm gonna head over and show you the camper. There she is. Today I moved her over so that it's closer to where I'm working on the Spartan, and that way maybe I'll get a little more done. That's what I was thinking. Tent City never really worked out. We had I think we rebuilt Tent City twice after the wind knocked it down, and I've had enough. So this is actually her ugly side. This side here is going to need the most work. It's not really that bad, I guess. You can see here somebody did some kind of weird repair. I think I probably showed that in the other video, but it's kind of nasty looking. And then that's really about it. I haven't decided what color to paint it yet. We'll see. But anyways, see if I can do this without shaking the camera too much. I'm going to show you kind of how she sits and what we have left to do. Alright, here's her good side. You can see how much better this side looks. You know, maybe I'll keep that paint scheme, who knows. But this is pretty much where we left it the last time. I had finished reframing everything here down under the door. And just in case anybody hasn't seen it, let's see if I can get this inside. That's the propane heater that I'm going to try to use it. If it works, we'll keep it. It's nasty looking, but we're obviously going to put a grate on the front. So we'll see what happens. That's where the fridge was. And it wasn't really finished, so I'll finish that. Here's the cool retro looking kitchen with propane oven. I'm going to keep that. Just clean it up a little bit. And it's going to get a fresh new coat of paint. I'm going to install LED lights and all that stuff. The ceiling is actually pretty bad. So I'll clean and paint the ceiling. But everything else is really in pretty good shape. Even the floor is actually in pretty good shape. Just the bathroom here that I was working on, and we got the shower assembled but not really finished. And I'll take you outside and show you that. All right. So this is all the work that I did on the last video over in the other section of the yard by the front of the house. And as you can see, it's solid now. It just needs to get put back together. Need some paint. This thing's going to be looking good. Like I said, I haven't really decided yet what to do with it and how far to take it on the interior. But the worst part was back here. This was all just completely rotted, and after this, you know, I did the hard part now. So all that's left is really putting it back together and then deciding how to paint and kind of decorate the interior. The roof needs a little bit of work too, so